Today we're going to learn how to multiply a whole number times a mixed number using the area model. Before we get started with that, I want to review the area model for multiplication that you have previously used before. This math problem was 15 times 12, and we actually drew out on the graph paper what 15 rows of 12 would look like. We started by decomposing the numbers 15 and 12, and we decided 15 would be easily decomposed into 10 and 5, and 12 would be easily decomposed into 10 and 2. Once I decomposed those, I separated the 10 and 5 right here and the 10 and 2 right here. And I have it having 4 sections, 4 partial products. For each section, you multiply the number on the side and the number on the bottom or top, depending on where you put your numbers. And then you take these partial products and you add them up to get your total product. That is all review, really from 4th grade. You learn how to do that. Now in 5th grade, we're going to multiply a whole number times a mixed number. So let's model how to do that on the graph paper. My math problem this time is going to be 7 1/2 times 8. Okay, 7 1/2 times 8. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do the 8 because that's easier for me. I don't have to think about what to do with that half. I'm going to start over here and I'm going to count 8 boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is right here. So I can make my box 8 long. Okay. And then I'm going to do with that 7. I'll still leave off the half and I'll make it 7 high. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So this is 7 high. I'm going to go ahead and connect those 2 pieces. Okay. Now, in order to get that 7 1/2, I actually need to take this box up here and I need to split it in half. I'm not going to worry about measuring perfectly, but I do think that I will use my ruler to make a straight line where I think is halfway between the box. Okay, that looks like it's about half. Okay, so this is 1/2. All I have to do is multiply my 2 partial products for this. The first big box shows 7 times 8. And without counting all those squares, I know that 7 times 8 is 56. And then this little half box up here is 1/2 8 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I can do 1/2 times 8. Now I could do this a few ways. I know I've previously learned how to multiply a fraction times a whole number. I could work it out that way. Or I could take every 2 halves and put it together and make it a whole. In my head, I could say, okay, that's 1/2, that's 1/2, that's 1 whole. Let me do that with a different color. Okay, so that's 1. That's 1. That's 1. And that's 1. So that looks like 4 wholes. Let me multiply that out. 1/2 times 8 equals 8 halves. 8 divided by 2 does equal 4. So either way that I do it, whether I work out the math problem or whether I just combine the pieces until I get wholes and count how many wholes I get, I'm going to get 4 wholes. So I'm going to do 56 plus 4. Those are my 2 partial products. 56 plus 4 is 60. So 7 1/2 times 8 equals 60. Okay. I've got another sheet of paper. We're going to do another problem for a second example. Okay, my second example is going to be, let's do it with the purple this time. That seemed to show up. Oh, I think I'm going to use orange. That'll show up really well. Let's do 6 times 2 1/3. 6 times 2 1/3. Okay, 1/3s are a little bit more challenging than half, so let's see if we can do it. First, I'm going to do 6, so I'll go over 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to here. Okay, so this shows 6, and I'll take the 2 and I'll decompose 2 1/3, and I'll decompose it into 2 plus 1/3. So I'll go up 2. Okay, and I think I'm going to go ahead and create that partial product area. Now I have to do the 1/3 because it should have been 2 plus 1/3. Now, in this box, I'm just going to visualize what thirds would look like. That would be breaking the box into 3 separate equal pieces. So my thirds are going to be about right there, maybe. And this is 1/3. So just like before, I'm going to take my 2 partial products. 2 times 6 equals 12. And then this was 1/3. I'm going to write it on top because it's so small that it's hard to see the writing in. This is 1/3 times 6. Okay. And just like before, I can do it either working out the math problem 1/3 times 6, or I can combine the thirds and make wholes. I know that it takes 3/3 to make 1 whole. So I'm going to say 1, 2, 3/3, that's 1 whole. 1, 2, 3/3, that's 1 whole. It doesn't always come out perfectly even, but in this problem it does. So I know that the 1/3 times 6 equals 2 wholes, but I could also do the multiplication problem 1/3 times 6, that equals 6/3, which equals 6 divided by 3 is 2. So my 2 partial products are, let's use purple for this, 12 and 2. So I'm going to add 12 and 2 together to get my final product of 14. So 6 times 2 1/3 is 14.